All right, so I watched this pretty good movie last night called Capricorn 1. I don't usually watch movies, but when I do, I prefer movies like this. So you see that right there before I get into this breakdown, right? All right, so it's called Capricorn 1. It's free on YouTube if anybody wants to check it out. It is with ads though, but whatever, right? So let's get into this breakdown. Chris Kreider bids a bittersweet farewell to the New York Rangers, heralds his fresh start with Anaheim Ducks, and that's an Associated Press article that I will be breaking down. And you see Kreider there with the Rangers. Okay, uh, here's some of the info on this guy. Christopher James Kreider is an American ice hockey winger now for the Anaheim Ducks of the NHL. Growing up in Boxford, Massachusetts, Kreider played high school hockey for Masconomet Regional High School and Phillips Andover. Let me see if I can get this back straight there. Here you see some more images here. It says Kreider has known for months that his long decorated tenure with the Rangers would probably end this summer, while the close of his run on Broadway is undeniably bittersweet. He's also thrilled to raise the curtain on his next chapter. On the West Coast, the Anaheim Ducks acquired Kreider and a fourth-round pick from the Rangers on Thursday in a trade for prospect Kerry Terrence and a third-round pick. Here's Kerry Terrence right here. American Canadian ice hockey center who is a prospect for the New York Rangers of the National Hockey League. Drafted by Anaheim in the second round of the 23 draft with the 59th overall pick. So he's just a prospect, a young guy. As you see him, this is interesting. Kreider gets traded for this guy. And look, this guy's got the Oilers on his jersey, but it's not the Edmonton Oilers. Or no, that's the Otters. Okay. I thought it said Oilers. That's interesting because the Oilers are in the Stanley Cup finals right now. This looks like an OHL jersey here. A younger guy, right? That's interesting. Otters, kind of like Oilers. And we have the Oilers in the Stanley Cup finals. So that kind of syncs up with the language. It looks like the Panthers are up 3-2 now. So the Panthers are 1 game away from winning the Stanley Cup. And that'll be back-to-back times. So we'll see if Edmonton can push that to a game 7. They need a desperate win in game 6 though. But let's go back over here. So Kreider gets traded for Kerry Terrence. Terrence heads to the Rangers. I don't know when his first ice time will be, as he's a prospect. So I don't know if they'll have him like on the team right away or how that will work out. But I know Kreider is a player that's good to go now. So this guy was drafted 59th overall. Look at it says Erie Auditors. See current team because he's like a prospect or whatever. That's interesting. Erie is E like Edmonton even, and then Otters looks like Oilers, and it's the same amount of letters with Otters and Oilers. So, anyways, that's interesting. But Let me see if they give us any other details. They just give us some quotes in the article. And let's go to the breakdown over here. And I think there's a video I'm gonna play too. Right here. Let's play this.
Welcome to today's News and Rumors Rundown. We start in New York with a trade. After days of speculation, the Rangers have finalized a deal to send Kreider to the Ducks. Several sources are now confirming the trade, saying that Kreider has agreed to waive his no-trade clause to facilitate the move. The Rangers will receive prospect Carey Terrance and a third-round pick, while Anaheim acquires Kreider and a fourth-round pick. Moving to Buffalo, as per ESPN analyst and insider Kevin Weeks, Bowen Byram is generating plenty of interest in the market from multiple clubs exploring a trade with the Sabres for his services. This isn't the first time Byram's name has come up in trade speculation. At the end of the season, a report emerged that he had vacated his place and left the city. Some didn't read much into it, but others.
All right, we don't need to hear about Byram, whoever the hell that is, but look at this right here. So these dudes get traded for each other, and you can see how they sync up with traded. Look at that. Christopher Kreider goes to Anaheim. He's in this trade. Look at traded in the language 110 like Christopher Kreider. Carey Terrance, he's headed to the Rangers as Kreider's headed to the Ducks. Look at Carey as in Carey Terrance or Terrance, however they're saying it. I think it's Terrance, but look at Carey has 52 and 25 just like traded. Let me shout out Richard West as well because he mentioned this name Christopher that's been popping up. Christopher or Chris. And we know Donald Trump's dad's middle name is Christ or Christ, however it's pronounced. And this guy's headed from New York to Anaheim. Donald Trump was born in New York. As I record this right now, yesterday was Donald Trump's birthday as I record this right now. So that energy's out there for sure. Traded even has T like Trump. And it's got the TR like Trump as well. Okay. So that's interesting. So you see how these players sync up with being traded with their names and traded right there in the language, and they are traded for each other. Even Carey Terrance has 215. This is him right here. He's got this Ducks gear on right here, headed to the Rangers. Look at he's got 215 like Anaheim Ducks, and that was the team he was on. So I mean, that's definitely worth noting. And you could see Carey Terrance also has the 80 like Chris Kreider right there, and they're involved in this trade with each other. I want you to see how Carey Terrance is age 20. He gets traded for a guy, Kreider, who's got 20 on his jersey. Look at how I just showed you how Carey Terrance had 215 like Anaheim Ducks, and he's traded from the Ducks to the Rangers. Look at how Kreider syncs up with his former team now. Christopher 139, New York Rangers 193, Christopher 67, New York Rangers 76, Christopher 158, New York Rangers 185. Look at how awesome that looks right there. Even 139 with Christopher, 193 New York Rangers. His full name, Christopher James Kreider, equals 139. And notice how this trade and this article, the 163rd day of the year, 163. So look at that, 163, 193, 139. So we get that 6 and that 3 thing again going on, where you could flip the 6 and you get the 193. You see that? Or you could say flip the 139, get the 136, which connects with the 163. So that looks pretty good right there. Look at that again right there. Man, and that's amazing because there's Donald Trump numbers in here that I'm not even like trying to bring up right now. The 67 syncs up with Trump, the 76. I think it's it might be 185 or 158 that syncs up with Trump's name. Even Donald Trump equals 138, which is just one number off of 139. And remember Trump's dad's middle name, Christ. So that's interesting, and this being right around his birthday here. Wow, look at this, man. Chris Kreider, he's traded 43 days after his birthday, and his birthday is 4/30, April 30. 4/30 is like 43. His birthday had a 43 date numerology and 34, and he's age 34. Check that out. Isn't that amazing? 4/30 birthday, traded 43 days after that birthday, 43 date numerology, age 34, also a 34 date numerology on his birthday. Wow. And it's a 34-day span. Carey Terrence, from his May 10th birthday to this trade, is a 34-day span. So that's amazing right there. That is amazing. You get a 34-43 connection here, and the 34 brings together both players. Kreider, age 34, with the 34 date numerology on his birthday, and then the 34-day span from Carey Terrence's birthday to this trade. Wow. Do we get specific positions that these players play? Let me see. Let's see. Let's click over here. Oh, left wing with Chris Kreider, and a center with Carey Terrence. Okay, so a left wing with Kreider and a center with you see Carey Terrence right here. I guess I can enter that real quick in the calculator on the fly. Look at center's got the 34, man. Look at that on the fly. This guy is his position is center. He takes the face-offs and such. Center has the 34. 34-day span from his birthday to the trade. That, I mean, it doesn't mean it's going to hit every time. It doesn't mean it's going to hit every time, but that's wild. And left wing has 39 right here. Chris Kreider, a left wing. Look at the 39 right there with left wing, and check out when we look at the standings. He's traded from the Rangers to the Ducks. Look at the Rangers had 39 victories on the season. Look at that right there. Rangers 39 wins on the season. Also, New York equals 39, where he's traded from. And he's a left wing, and again, left wing has that 39. Check that out. And this will come back into play here in a bit as well. The Anaheim Ducks acquired Kreider and a fourth-round pick from the Rangers on Thursday in a trade for prospect Carey Terrence and a third-round pick. So you get a fourth-round pick and a third-round pick included to go along with these two guys here. A fourth and a third-round pick also included in this deal. Look at that. Wow. Remember, New York equals 33, trade equals 33. Take away that 34-day span. Kerry Terrence is traded 33 days after his birthday without the span. He's even born on the 10th, and he's got 10 on his USA jersey right there. I guess he was maybe on like a junior USA national team or something like that. Look at the 10 on his jersey, and he's born on the 10th. And remember, this is a prospect, so we're not sure how much ice time he'll get. You know, he may be, I don't know, he may still be with the Erie Otters. I don't know how that works. Usually there's like a AHL affiliate. It looked like the Otters were in the OHL, but he may be with the affiliate. Never. Well, he's on the Rangers now, so whoever their affiliate might be, he may be on that team as he's still growing into an NHL player, right? He may still have some things to learn. So we don't know how much ice time he will get or if he'll just be with the AHL team. But you see, that's a fact there that we do know that he's born on the 10th. He's got 10 on his jersey. And notice how Chris Kreider is born in 1991. Kreider equals 119. Now he's on the Anaheim Ducks, 109. Again, you flip that 9 over, 106. Christopher Kreider equals 106. His birthday and the trade both have 16 date numerology. And this guy coming from New York, you don't have to be a hockey fan to know this, but you know that 119 is connected with New York. You see that? Remembering the 11th day of the ninth month and the two buildings, the two aircraft carriers. That's it. Look at that. He landed on the Rangers, now going to the Ducks, but he was on the Rangers of New York, and his last name's got that 119. Check that out. That's not the first time that's happened. You get other New York stories, and you see the 119 there. 119, like the 11th day of the ninth month. You know, anybody, if you don't know what that is, Google it. You should know. You should know regardless your age. I mean, if you're like at least 10 years old, 12 years old, I mean, you had to have heard of that event back in 2001. So let's listen to this guy speak on the trade. All right, let's what do we get, like some career stats with him? Let's see if we can get some career stats with him. It looks like he's a pretty decent player. Look, he had 22 goals last season. Wow, look, he was drafted 19th overall. Look at that right there. Look, when that hits on the fly like that, that's icing on the cake. He was drafted 19th overall. Look at that. Kreider 119. Now he's headed to the Ducks, 109 like 19, born in 91, the 19 reversed. Yeah, that's undeniable. You see how that works? That's why I don't mind going on the fly like that, because we land. Okay? But he had 22 goals for the Rangers. I guess you could still say it was this season. He was even drafted in 2009, so you get that 9 again, like the ninth month, with that 119 connection, that 911 connection. Look at that. Wow. So he had 22 goals. That's pretty solid. And this guy here, I don't know, did he even play a game for the Ducks? I'm going to say he's just like a prospect draft guy who hasn't. Let's see any stats. Remember, he was drafted 59th overall. It says his number is 54 here on the Rangers, so he might wear 54. See, look at these different teams. I don't see any stats as he is a prospect headed to the Rangers. I don't see any stats for the Ducks here, but a couple of decent seasons here, but you know, this isn't the NHL, that's the OHL. Looks like he had 29 goals and then 20 goals there. All right, so you may not be a huge fan of hockey. You don't have to be a fan. I mean, it's interesting once you learn this knowledge and this code, you could start breaking down these stories. Excuse me, I had to sneeze there. I'll just kind of recap and just go back here on the slides. So a lot of 34s, well, more 43s, 34s, which are the same numbers. The 19 connection hit with New York there. Big. These two guys both sync up with being traded, and they even sync up with each other in the language as well on top of that. So New York to Anaheim, Anaheim to New York. Uh, the major player here, Kreider, with those 22 goals. Pretty decent. Bids a bittersweet farewell to the Rangers, heralds his fresh start with the Anaheim Ducks. There's always more information, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. Shout out to y'all. On to the next decode. Peace.